Alright guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be checking this thing out here. It is a HDMI capture card, and it's not sponsored content. I actually bought this thing myself because I was just curious. Does this thing actually work? It is a $25 HDMI capture card that's supposed to work as good as the one that I'm using right now. So this is the HD60, so it's not the newest version. They have the HD60S now that does 4K. This one only does 1080p, and that's what this one does. It's 1080p. So I got this for a couple of reasons. One is because it shows up as a webcam, so that way I can use it with Zoom. I cannot use that with Zoom without piping it out of OBS and then having to pipe the audio out, and it's too much work to use that thing with Zoom, and I wanted to do more interviews. So I got this thing as a cheap option to do that. And the other thing is that will let me also use the HDMI out from the microscope at the same time as that. So maybe we'll see the microscope in some live streams. I know I never use it in the live streams because I'd have to disconnect from the camera and plug into that. So yeah, maybe the microscope will get more use on the channel. So yeah, I bought this thing and I want to kind of review it and show it off. I tested it out today. I did a Zoom interview with somebody. They're doing a documentary for one of their college projects, so I figured I'd help them out with that. It was pretty fun, and it was a good chance to test out this new thing I just got. Literally just got it in the mail today before doing the interview. I ordered it before we discussed doing an interview. I was going to use it for a different interview, and then that other one fell through. So we got this one. So what is included in the box? I think I may have already thrown out the box, but you get this and a little USB cable. And it advertises itself as being USB 3. However, the cable that they provide is a USB 2 cable. So I have a suspicion that the USB 3 is a total lie on here, but who cares? It's a $25 HDMI capture card that does in fact work. So let me set it up real quick on here so that way you can see the video quality difference, because I don't think this thing actually works quite as good as that, but that one is, the new version is like, I think it's like $200, I'm pretty sure. And it's either that or it's $160, whatever. It's more than $100. This thing's $25, and if you actually buy the USB 2 version, which I think is the exact same thing as this, that's actually only $15. I just was like, let me buy the other one and see if it's any better. So yeah, let me switch over real quick and we'll take a look at it on here. Okay, so now this is with the other capture device. So I think that the motion is a little bit more laggy looking. I think we're only getting 30 frames per second with this one, while the other one is getting 60. I think that's what I'm seeing there. But yeah, I mean, the image quality looks about the same to me. Sorry, my screen's there while the camera's here, so yeah, I'm not looking directly at you guys. I'm testing this thing out with OBS for the first time here. I've only used it in Zoom before doing this video, and was like, I gotta do a video on this thing. This thing is great because it's so cheap. It really allows other people to produce videos because, you know, not everyone wants to spend $160 to do videos for who knows how long on YouTube before you start making any money. So that's why I wanted to show this thing off, because if you already have a camera that has an HDMI out, it's going to give you a significantly better video quality than a regular webcam will. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely a huge advantage to over using a webcam. All right, so this webcam right here is like $80 if I remember correctly. It's the Logitech 1080p webcam, and it's a good webcam, don't get me wrong. It's got a good video quality and everything. I like using it to capture things other than what I'm working on. And before I bought this camera, when I first started the YouTube channel, I started the YouTube channel out on this. This was what all my videos were recorded with before I bought this. This is a good way to get started because it has a microphone in it, it has a camera, and the video quality is not terrible. It's not nearly what you get out of a camera like this, but I don't know, no complaints there. But yeah, so for the price, this costs four times as much roughly. Let's just say this is $100 and that's $25. So it's 4 times as much for this camera as it is for that HDMI out capture card. So if you already had a camera like this is a better setup. So obviously not everybody has a HDMI out camera like the Sony camera that I'm using, but a lot of people do already have fancy cameras and they want to do live streams or whatever. And so they can do that. So if you're already doing videos with you know, your Canon or your Sony or whatever, and it has an HDMI out, you can use it like this, where I'm recording with my computer. I'm not recording with the camera. That's how I do my videos. If you didn't know this already, I record everything in OBS because it's just easier for me. I'm not really into the video editing and all of that. That's not what I like. I like fixing circuit boards and teaching other people about electronics repair. So it's just easier for me. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm still on that. I'm still not plugged into this right now. I'm on that capture card, and I like it. I think it's pretty much as good as one of these HD60s. And I think he used one of these HD60s like I have right now, still selling for $100. Okay, so I am back off of this capture card and onto the Elgato. So the Elgato HD60 definitely does 60 frames per second, and I think I can see a very slight evidence of this only being 30 frames per second in the video quality of this. Also, there's a slight green hue to all the colors. Everything's just ever so slightly green. I don't know if it will come off in the YouTube video since YouTube compresses the files when you upload them, so they're not exactly the same quality as what goes out. I definitely notice it in the editor when I'm looking at it. There is a ever so slightly green hue, but it's not enough to notice when you are strictly just, if you watch one and then close out and open the next one and watch it. But when you go from editing where you scene transfer right there and there's just a cut scene and it goes directly into it, you can see that jump where it's just slightly green. And so the only way I can describe it is everything's just kind of slightly green, but not so much that it would bother. You would never notice it if you didn't know it was there. So yeah, I've ruined it for you guys. Y'all are all going to notice it now that I've mentioned it, but it's really not a problem in my opinion. It is slightly green, but not really noticeable, especially for the price. $25, again, I got to bring that home today. At $25, I will give it credit there and be like, I'm fine with that. I'm even fine with them lying to me and telling me that it's 60 frames per second when their manual that they included with their product says a maximum input of 30 hertz and a maximum output of 30 hertz there. So let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, yep. So there's the manual for it. The manual says it only does 30 hertz, and it definitely seems to be at 30 hertz. I don't know. I'm sure there's some way in video editing I can tell how many frames a second it is, but it's not worth it to me to actually find out. So all is what my takeaway of that is: buy the $15 version that isn't lying to you about the speed instead of this one. I think they're really the exact same thing, because the $15 version, it's just this, but it's black and it doesn't have a blue plug on it. That's really the only difference. So, but with it being just a $10 difference and it being so much cheaper than the Elgato products, I definitely give them a pass on that. If they were charging $50 to $60, $100, I'd start getting critical on it. But at that, it's not even worth. It's not worth complaining. So there's a company that sent me this. You've probably seen it in a recent video if you watch my YouTube shorts. I'm not going to name the company because I'm not trying to be mean to them. They sent it to me for free to test out, and I'll be honest, it's not even as good as the microphone on my phone. It's just not. That's all I can say there. I can't in good conscience do a review video that would have a link to this product because they want $130 for it. If it was like $50 for that microphone, it has some selling points that I could pitch. If it was 50 bucks for that thing, I could do a video on it and tell you in good conscience, like, hey, this thing's convenient for doing interviews. You can clip it on and do a video there where the person's away from you. It's good for outdoor audio because it's got built-in noise cancellation that's going to work better than your cell phone. And those are true. I could do a video that says that. If it was $50 to $25, I could do that video and say it's a good product and do that in good conscience. I cannot do that with that product because of its price point. At $130, just spend $50 more and buy this. Like, that's all I have to say to that. Spend the, you can get these things used for $100, by the way, which is what I did. I bought mine used. I paid $99 for it used. So that I spent less on my Rode microphone than you would on this microphone. And if you wanted to use this like the Rode, you'd be paying more. So you have to buy 2 of these to use it with a DSLR. This only does Bluetooth to your cell phone, which is convenient for cell phone usage. Like, this thing at a different price point would be a good product. It's just not at the price point they're at. So I feel bad. I feel bad talking crap about them in this video. But I don't know. They want me to do a review video on it. I don't think I can. This, however, which I paid for, I didn't even get it sent to me for free. I can tell you this is a great product for getting started. Like, it really is. If you wanted to do, get a gaming channel and just use a Y splitter, it would work. So this is not going to work for a gaming channel alone. You are going to need a Y splitter because it does not have an output like the Elgato. Elgato has an output to go to your monitor. This does not. This thing's like the Cam Link from Elgato. I feel bad comparing them because I'm sure the Cam Link has like many features that make it better than this. So I'm not saying that it's a one-for-one equivalent to the Cam Link. I'm saying it is a great starting point for somebody that's just getting started. So that's all I really have to say in this video. I do feel bad for talking bad about these guys, but I don't know, that they're just missing the point of like their product. I mean, their product could be a good product at a different price point. This is an amazing product at its price point. If this was at the Elgato Cam Link price, so the Elgato Cam Link is like $130, no, it doesn't touch that because the Cam Link does 4K and it has a software suite for it that makes it do other things too. Like, you can do your live streaming direct from their software suite, so you don't need OBS, which is a value to people that don't want to learn OBS. I can recognize something as a value that I don't use. I would never use their software. I don't like it. I find it cumbersome, but I see the value in it for other people that just don't want to learn how to use OBS and do that kind of stuff. They just want something that plug and plays and goes. It's like the same thing as an Apple. I understand the value of an Apple. I understand that you want to be locked into an ecosystem that's just like, I don't have to think about anything. It just works. And I get that. I understand that. So I can recognize something as valuable that I don't use. So I recognize the value of the Elgato software. I just don't use it. So, I mean, and that's definitely part of what you're paying for in the Elgato suite. But yeah, I don't know. If you're just getting started, you're not going to beat this thing. I mean, that plugged and played worked. It shows up as a webcam so I can use it in Zoom. And I mean, yeah, it's got a slightly green hue to it, but who cares? So I hope you guys liked the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.